Gamers, today we're gonna do another video talking about the landmarks. This time we're gonna talk about the best landmarks in Age of Empires 4. Well, I've done the video about the worst landmarks in Age of Empires 4. Now we're not gonna do the, in between landmarks in Age of 4. So we'll just do the worst, the best, and everything that's left is somewhere in the middle. So we're gonna do Feudal Age, Castle Age, and then Imperial Age. Now, not every civ has really good landmarks, but they're still a good civ. So some civilizations, namely HRE, has really good landmarks, but their units are not that great. But some civs have really good units, but their landmarks are not that good. So let's get started. Number one we'll be talking about is going to be the Rus Golden Gate. This landmark actually used to be used 24/7 early on in AoE 4, and then we went Kremlin, and now we're back to the Golden Gate. Every 50 seconds you can basically exchange 100 wood or 100 food or 100 gold for 150 resources. So you can either buy stone with 100 gold, you can either sell 100 food or 100 wood for 150 gold. It's just a very, very good landmark, and the fact that it stacks infinitely allows you to use it early game and in Imperial Age and in Castle Age. So it has uses throughout the game, and it's just basically a way for you to generate whatever resource you need on command, which I think is really, really good. Number two, best landmark in Feudal. By the way, this is not in any specific order. I just want to say that. Number two is going to be, we cannot have the best landmarks without the Aachen Chapel. This landmark recently, actually yesterday, received 5% gathering nerf. I think the patch is not in yet. So it's 35% gathering speed increase all around it. And I just think that even if it was 30%, this landmark would be one of the best landmarks in the game. It is just very, very strong, very, very good, and it gives you crazy income boost early on into the game. Next one we'll talk about are the Chinese landmarks. So the English and French, I don't think they have any, or in Mongol, they don't have any feudal landmarks that are super, super good. So we're going to talk about China next, and that is going to be Imperial Academy. This landmark it might not look OP because it doesn't give you units, or it doesn't give you anything crazy, but this landmark is insanely good because it allows you to produce imperial officials from it, which is basically extra villagers. And on top of that, in the early game, all the buildings that are around Imperial Academy give you double the taxes, and it just gives you so much gold early on whenever you're playing China. And if you put production buildings there, it's going to give you a lot of gold throughout the game. So I think this is just a really, really strong landmark. And it's pretty much even if other landmark, aka Barbican, was needed or a lot better in some ways, I think Imperial Academy would still be the go-to just because it boosts your economy so much early on. The second landmark, and this is the only civ that has both feudal landmarks that are good, is the Barbican. Now, Barbican is usually something you build after Imperial Academy, but I think for what it does and the fact that it's a feudal keep, and the fact that you can put it anywhere on the map, you can build it pretty quickly, you can garrison villagers inside, you can drop off taxes on it, I think is really, really good. And it also gives you a lot of vision, and it can be upgraded with Springald and cannon emplacement later on. So I think just both Imperial Academy and Barbican are really, really good landmarks. And yeah, China has good landmarks, what can I say? Next one is the Ottoman landmark. Now, I was thinking about putting both of them in the best landmarks in the game. Sultan Hani Trade Network is really good because you get 3 traders that passively generate gold. But at the end of the day, it does give you 75 gold per minute, and that's kind of it. Whereas Twin Minaret, in my opinion, is one of the best landmarks in the game because it grows 4 buried bushes, which can be harvested 50% faster. And once they're depleted, after 2 minutes, they come back. Now, why is this one of the best landmarks? Because in the game where food is extremely important, which is pretty much every AoE 4 game, this landmark will give you so much food over time. But not only that, if you put 4 or 5 villagers on the berry bushes early on, you're actually getting a lot more value. You are having extra villagers gathering food. and Ottoman takes so long to run out of food because of this landmark, so thumbs up. Next one is going to be the Jushi Legacy landmark, and I don't think this comes to anyone's surprise, but Meditation Gardens is crazy good landmark. Now, sometimes this landmark is not, you know, overpowered, but sometimes it's just completely broken. So it is RNG dependent what kind of spawn you get. So at the very worst, at the worst, you'll get like 60-ish resources per minute, like let's say food plus gold or stone plus gold, which is 25 stone a minute and 25 gold a minute. But sometimes you'll have Meditation Garden that gives you over 100 resources per minute, which is just crazy, and it just does that for the rest of the game. Sometimes you'll get like double or triple stone or gold in the same spot, and you just get so much passive income. So this landmark was also nerfed, and it's still very, very good. And then last but not least, again, I'm not sure if it's to anyone's surprise, but one of the best landmarks in the game right now is the Lancaster Castle. Now, why is this landmark good? Well, it does a lot of things for the Civ. It makes it so that your villagers are immune to harassing basically early on. It can spawn units, aka Demon Lancers, and then later Yeomen, and then in Age 3 it can do another unit spawn. It buffs your manners, it gives your manners arrow slit and extra HP, and I just think it's very, very strong landmark and makes it so that House of Lancaster is very hard to play against in that early Feudal Age. Those are, in my opinion, the best Feudal Age landmarks. Let's move on to the castle. So number one is going to be, and this might be a surprise for some, you know, for some people in lower leagues, this might be like, I knew it. But I think that the White Tower is one of the best landmarks in the game, simply because of the way English is played and the timing that it arrives in. So usually when you go for White Tower, you're going for 2 town center, and then it doesn't matter if the opponent is all-inning, if the opponent is fast castle rushing, or whatever else. If you get the White Tower between your town centers, or maybe covers the gold or covers the farms, you're basically immune to dying for like at least 10 minutes, and the opponent needs to make like trebuchets in order to push you. Not only does a lot of damage, not only protects your resources, you can garrison villagers inside of it, and it works as a production building, which means that if you're going to TC with no units with English into Fast Castle White Tower, you actually don't need to make production buildings. You can just produce out of the White Tower because it's almost like 2 production buildings worth. So almost like 2 stables or 2 barracks or 2 archer ranges. So it's a very, very strong landmark. And I think specifically because of the way English plays, that's why it's really good. Next one, once again, we have Rus. So this is the first best landmark for English, but Rus, once again, it's back. High Trade House. Now, this landmark actually received a nerf recently, but I think even with the nerf, it's going to be, it's also Siege Workshop, true. Even with the nerf on the High Trade House giving a little bit less gold, this is still going to be one of the best landmarks in the game. The reason for that is it acts as a food drop-off. It gives you gold per minute for the rest of the game, and it spawns deer. So this landmark is incredibly important because it allows you to always get tier 3 bounty with Rus so that you can get extra food gathering on your villagers. It's just a very, very good landmark, and because it's also spawning deer, means you'll get a little bit of gold from them gathering deer constantly. Next one is the HRE. Regnitz Cathedral. Now, I was thinking about this one, if I should put it in or not. I think Regnitz is a great landmark. Obviously, the downside of it is if you don't get more than 2 relics, it's not as good. But if you get 3 or more, I mean, it's just crazy. If you ever played HRE with 5 relics, it's almost unplayable for the opponent how much gold you're getting. You just don't need to mine gold at all. So, Regnitz Cathedral, love that. Next one. So second landmark for Rus, second landmark for HRE, and we have third landmark for China, which is going to be Astronomical Clock Tower. That's right. I was thinking about also putting Imperial Palace. I think it's really good, but maybe not one of the best landmarks. Astronomical Clock Tower acts as a siege workshop and gives your siege plus 50% health. Now, it acting as a siege workshop is not a big deal. The fact that your siege spawns with 50% health is a massive deal, especially if you're getting all in and having nested bees that have extra health. It is very, oh, here we go. It is very, very noticeable. Sorry, I keep forgetting that I should scroll more down. Thank you for letting me know. So the fact that nested bees have extra health, Springles, or even Rams, Bombards in the late game is just so good. So very, very good landmark. And whenever you play China, you almost want to constantly be producing from it throughout the game, just because of the value you get with the HP. Next one we'll be talking about, see, this is the funny part. Ottoman, once again, coming in with one of the best landmarks. But at the top level, not doing too great. But Mehmed Imperial Armory is a extremely good landmark. It produces siege engines for free, but with a longer train time. So it's basically like a military school, but for your siege units. And you can pick whichever one you want to produce. Do you want mangonels? Do you want rams? Do you want springles? And then in Imperial, you can also produce great bombers from it, or Ribaldiquins, which you usually cannot produce with a lot of civs. So thumbs up. It's a very good landmark. And a lot of these landmarks, by the way, in Castle and Imperial, you'll notice, have a lot of resources per minute in the form of units that it gives you. So this is just one of those. And then the next one, and this is the last best landmark in Castle Age, in my opinion, it is the Byzantine Golden Horn Tower. Now this is a very similar to the Ottoman one, periodically produces unlocked mercenary units for free. So why is it good? Well, it just gives you a constant stream of units, and it gives you obviously a lot of resources per minute because it's producing units. But not only that, you're not just getting archers or spearmen, you're getting mercenaries, which are usually the best units from other civs, and this works throughout the whole game. You don't need to do anything, you don't need to make them, they just come out on their own, and it's a very good resource per minute landmark. And now we're going to move on to the Imperial. So while we're here, we got the best Imperial landmarks. We're going to be starting with Byzantine Foreign Engineering Company. This landmark is crazy good for a couple of reasons. Number one is you get to produce siege with oil. So even if you could only produce mangonels, springles, or bombards, this landmark would be probably one of the best landmarks, because oil in this case acts as gold. So instead of spending wood and gold on siege engines, you're just spending oil, which is incredibly good. But on top of that, not only you can produce siege, you also have unique siege that you're getting only with this landmark. So you can get nested bees, hui hui pao, and royal cannons. And royal cannons are one of the best bombards. They're super strong, they do a lot of damage. Nested bees, I mean, do I need to say more? And then pao, you're not going to make it every game, but in some situations it's incredibly strong. So that's going to be our first Imperial landmark that we're going to be talking about. The next one is going to be French landmark. Again, probably not to anyone's surprise, it is going to be the Red Palace. Now, why is this landmark good, and why are some keeps not going to be in the best landmarks? The reason Red Palace is good, not because of the attack that it has when you garrison units inside, which is incredibly OP and strong, don't get me wrong. The reason why I think Red Palace is one of the best landmarks is because of the second part of the description. Activates an arbalist emplacement on all keeps and town centers. So what this does is basically it will give all your other keeps and all your town centers the attack that the Red Palace has, which is super strong, and it makes French very, very hard to raid. In late game, even if you're trying to run past town centers or something. Next one is going to be the Mongol, and again, I don't think this is to anyone's surprise, but the Khaganate Palace is, in my opinion, perhaps the best Imperial landmark, or second best actually. There's one more that's really good, but maybe second best landmark in Imperial Age. Basically the playstyle of Mongol as of right now. This landmark did receive a nerf just now, but I think it's still going to be very good. But what it does is Mongols basically rush Imperial, you get to Khaganate Palace, and once it starts producing free units, it produces free units that are elite upgraded. So it's elite knights, elite Mangudai, elite horse archers, and it's just very, very, very good. So even after the nerf, probably one of the best. Now Delhi, this is the first showing for Delhi for the best landmarks. Delhi doesn't have the greatest landmarks in my opinion, but the Imperial one is incredibly good, and that is Palace of the Sultan. So why is this one good? Well, obviously it gives you a lot of resources per minute in way of units, but not only that, the unit that you get is one of the best units in the game, and you cannot produce it normally. So the only way to produce Sultan's elite tower elephants is with this landmark, and it's basically hand cannoneers on an elephant. So it's very, very strong, and it just produces them throughout the whole game. You don't have to make them, just does everything on its own. And once again, probably to no one's surprise, Holy Roman Empire. This time it is going to be the Imperial landmark Palace of Swabia. This landmark is just crazy good. The moment HRE ages up to Imperial, it's like you're on a timer. If you don't end the game or do severe amounts of damage, the Palace of Swabia boom will just completely destroy you long term. It's also cheaper to age up to Imperial with Palace of Swabia, and it produces villagers 200% faster and cheaper. So if this landmark was normal cost, it would still be overpowered. Next one is going to be the KT age up. So I don't think that Knights Templar age ups, I don't think any of them are on the level of like, wow, that's so good, or even because of their unique bonus or the unit you're getting. But there is one in Imperial Age that I think is just so OP because of the bonus and because of the unit it gives you, which is the Kingdom of Poland age up that gives you Szlachta Kavalleria, and it gives you all cavalry gain 10% health and 50% charge damage for all your cavalry, not just the Szlachta, but everything. So I think this age up is just really, really good, and probably the best age up that Knights Templar have in general. And then I saved the best for last, and it is not only the best, but it is the best by far. It is going to be the Demon landmark on the Demon Civ, the Wingard Palace. So you might be wondering, why is the Wingard Palace for House of Lancaster OP and really good, and why is the English one not? The English one gives you completely different sets of units. The resources per minute are different, and whereas Wingard Palace not only gives you really good value, I feel like you can produce anything you need in the game from this landmark at any given point. And one of the playstyles with House of Lancaster is to rush Imperial and then just produce only from Wingard Palace until you survive. Crazy, crazy resource per minute value. It gives you units that you normally cannot have, and it's just very, very strong. It allows you to basically have, you don't even need a lot of economy to constantly produce from it. So Demon Civ, Demon landmark. And that is going to be it. Those are, in my opinion, the best landmarks in Age of Empires 4. Now, I've done the worst landmarks in Age of Empires 4. I've done the best. Any landmark that I did not mention is somewhere in the middle, where I don't think they're bad, but I don't think they're like insane either. They're just decent landmarks. So that's gonna be it. If you're watching this on YouTube in the video form, I want to thank you so much for watching. Check me out on Twitch and YouTube live. I'm probably live right now. I'm online every single day, pretty much. And that's it. Thank you for watching. And if you're watching live, let's keep going.